Welcome to episode 2 of Current Conversations, a production of Gloucester's Community Engagement and Public Information Department. We're glad you're here. I'm Quentin, and this month we're going to be focusing on storm preparedness and building safety. Today we're joined by Brett Major, our Emergency Management Coordinator. Today he's going to be discussing with us hurricane preparedness and emergency preparedness. Brett, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Thanks, Quentin. It's a pleasure to be with you today, and thank you for the opportunity to get information out to the community. So my name is Brett Major. I am the Emergency Management Coordinator for Gloucester County, Virginia. I've been in the position almost 4 years. Prior to this, I served in the United States Coast Guard for a little more than 20 years, doing all kinds of responses and activities from natural disasters, man-made disasters. Basically, what that did and that experience in the Coast Guard really keyed me into emergency management as a profession. I am from Richmond, Virginia. I did go to Virginia Tech. I'm a big Hokie fan, so just plugging that in there.
There you go.
So I was serving a few years in this area, both at the training center and also what used to be Sector Hampton Roads, which is now Sector Virginia, conducting incident response. So an opportunity opened up here for Gloucester County, being the emergency management coordinator. I was really excited about it, kind of like the stars aligned for my dream job where I was living, and it all so I rolled the dice. I was fortunate enough to get into this position where I'm at now.
Well, we're grateful to have you, Brett, and for those listening, I've had an opportunity on several occasions to work closely with Brett, and just so impressed with how his calm demeanor throughout situations that a lot of us may not be so calm, and just hands-on approach to everything. We're really, really grateful to have you on the county team.
Thanks, Brett. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Today we just wanted to kind of hit on a few things on what people can expect out of this upcoming hurricane season. What can we do to best prepare ourselves, and what does the county offer as far as preparedness help in the wake of such storms or any type of natural disaster. So Brett, what are they currently saying about the 2021 season?
Well, I will say, just from a baseline perspective, the effective in 2021 for predicting what is the average hurricane season for the Atlantic, they've increased what the average is based on recent experience and real world events. For example, the previous average hurricane season was based on information data from 1981 through 2010. They'd use that data to generate models and predictions for what to expect, or again, a baseline from where to go based on weather patterns. You hear about El Nino and La Nina and different things that influence stuff, but that was the baseline. For 2021, they've changed that database to be from 1991 to 2020. Mm-hmm. And what the end result is, instead of having 12 named storms per average hurricane season, now they are predicting 14 named storms for the average hurricane season. And again, instead of 6 hurricanes, they're saying 7, and still maintaining 3 major hurricanes.
Okay.
So those are the baseline predictions, and there's tools and interactions and coordination locally, regionally, and federally throughout the years, and especially here we have a strong partnership with the National Weather Service out of Wakefield.
So what would you encourage residents? So what would be the top 3 things that you would encourage residents to do in order to prepare for the upcoming storm season?
Sure. Well, number 1 is have a plan. All right. Know what you're going to do. That plan is everything from having resources with you, like emergency kits, to be ready to be without power and utilities potentially for at least 3 days. Things
Okay.
like non-perishable foods, can openers, first aid, medicine, and prescription information in case you're helping out loved ones or people are helping you out. You need to make sure you have typical things like flashlights, extra batteries, toothbrushes, all those types of things that are um, to keep you going, but also prepare for your pets.
Absolutely.
Have a plan for them as well.
Hmm.
Also, that plan, you think about your loved ones, people that you care for. Think about your neighbors. The biggest impact that people and residents can have is locally within their community, within their smaller parts of their community, like their people down their street, neighbors, looking out for each other. And that's key. And that's part of having that plan.
Absolutely.
I also think knowing what to do, understanding that there could be, depending on where you live, know if you are in a zone that is potentially inundated by floodwaters in the event of a hurricane. Are you in an evacuation zone?
All of that information is clearly depicted on a map on the emergency management website, correct?
Yes, the
Okay.
link is there. The Know Your
Yeah.
Zone campaign, you can easily use your search engine to type in Know Your Zone
Hmm.
for Virginia. And you can even type your address into that to know what type of evacuation zone, if you are in one, what are you in?
Great.
And then when a storm is threatening
Hmm.
the area, when you hear the call for an evacuation, and part of your plan is where to go. We will, in the event of a potential impact, open up shelters, but really, we really promote having a separate plan ahead of time because the shelters can only handle so many people in today's COVID environment.
Exactly.
That's even more restrictive. So
Sure, sure.
plan ahead, know where you're going to go if you need to evacuate.
Your department works around the clock throughout the year planning for the potential disaster of any kind that may come our way. And the county takes proactive steps in ensuring that the citizens as a whole are protected as much as possible. And one of those ways that residents can be protected is through the code red notification system. And that goes into effect not only just for hurricane related information, but also when we have other types of severe weather or other types of emergencies. Can you tell us just a little bit about how that system works?
Sure. Code Red is one of many systems that are out there for emergency notification. Go to our emergency management website and click the link if you're not signed up already. But yes, like
Okay.
you said, it'll alert you to all kinds of emergencies. Another way that is used, that Code Red is used to also let you know from a general notification perspective, say maybe a street's going to be closed down because of a parade and it's going to
Hmm.
affect your traffic. There's a lot of uses beyond just emergency management.
It will narrow down to pretty much your address or your street. If you need to know that something's going on, it won't impact the whole county necessarily. But if a severe thunderstorm or a tornado is headed directly in your portion of the county, the system will only call and alert you um, to that specific narrowed down area.
I think that's a good point, Quentin, because like you said, it is based on address. And if you're in the southern part of the county and there's a severe storm in the northern part of the county, you're not going to get that notification most likely because it's
Sure.
not going to affect you. But if it is something that is predicted and the system is directly linked to National Weather Service products, and if
Okay.
it's coming in your neighborhood, you're going to find out about it.
And you can opt out of it at any time.
That's
So
correct.
thanks again, Brett. We appreciate all that you do, and thank you for keeping us safe.
Well, thank you. And if there's ever anybody has any questions whatsoever, we love to get phone calls and engage in the community and the businesses and all the nonprofits. I mean, we don't do this alone. We're a small office, but we rely heavily on our partnerships within the community and also our volunteers. So if you'd like to
Sure.
help out in any way, be a CERT volunteer, for example, please contact our office.
Be sure to stay tuned because up next, we're going to be talking about building safety with Paul Cole, our building inspector, and Bill Ritter with the Building Inspection Office. Thank you both for being with us today. Mr. Cole, if you wouldn't mind starting out, just telling us a little bit about your background and your role here with the county.
Okay, my background is construction. I've been with Gloucester County 14 years on and off.
Well, it sounds like we're in good hands. Bill, how about you?
I have a similar background, but mine's mostly in code enforcement. I started out with 12 years in hospital facilities. Then I moved into inspections. Okay.
Okay.
I've been in inspections now for about 20 years and in about 3 or 4 different localities.
So quite a few years of experience combined between you two gentlemen. We're very fortunate. Tell us just a little bit about Building Safety Month and why it's so important.
So if I may start, Quentin, I would just like to go, what is the building code?
Mm-hmm.
The building code is a state law. Its purpose is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Again, its purpose is health, safety, welfare, energy conservation, water conservation, including provisions for overcrowding, to create barrier-free buildings and structures for a physically handicapped and aged population.
Okay.
The importance of Building Safety Month awareness is just that, to let citizens know we do have state law that regulates the construction of our structures. Mm-hmm. It's not only for the house that you live in, but it's for the movie theater you visit. Mm-hmm. It's for the schools, for a church, for the hospital. So it's a safety factor for construction being built to accommodate citizens in a safe, healthy manner.
And I understand too that if any citizen or builder has any question or needs somebody to come out and help, your office is more than willing to come out and consult. Is that correct?
That's correct. A good portion of our county is in the flood zone, and flood requirements, FEMA requirements, can be complicated at times. And Gloucester County voluntarily joined the community rating system, which gives our citizens a discount on their flood insurance.
You all are out in the field all the time. What would you say are the top building safety issues that you've seen take place around here?
One thing that I noted is failure to obtain a building permit. If a project is done without a building permit, we didn't give opportunity for us to speak into the project, how they could better meet building codes and their requirements for safety.
A little bit earlier on, we were talking about how building safety, is not just about the building structure itself, but, water safety also applies. How do our building practices directly impact the quality of our drinking water?
Okay, basically what we're dealing with is part of our responsibilities here in the building department is to comply with health department regulations. Mm-hmm. And it's the health department, that makes sure that wells are appropriately installed and septic systems are appropriately installed, or connections of sewer are done properly. Now, that's what's real important, is how we are protecting the environment by making sure that it isn't degraded by improper connections to sewer and water systems. Sure. One thing I'd like to bring up under where we're having a lot of issues with, particularly this time of the year, is our good old swimming pools.
Exactly.
That is a major safety topic. that we are constantly and vigilantly after. Too many times the swimming pool is sold and installed before we're even aware of the fact that it's in there, and there are requirements for safety barriers and protections around the pool, not only for the general public, but for your own family and children.
Absolutely. And, all of this is extremely, important information. And I think it's important to note that in April, the Gloucester County Board of Supervisors adopted a resolution committing the month of May to Building Safety Month. And our department's going to be working alongside the building inspector to kind of raise awareness about safety related issues. We just invite you to tune in to our social media and to our website as we bring you some important information regarding Building Safety Month. And again, gentlemen, I really appreciate your information you provided today. And I know that you all are open and willing to help anybody who has a concern or a problem, and we'll include your contact information in the description of this podcast.
Thank you, Quentin.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us. The information discussed in this month's episode can be found in the podcast description below. Join us next month as we meet with Sheriff Darrell Warren and discuss some notable cases, trends, and history of the Gloucester Sheriff's Department.